Om Sai Vidmahe Satya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayate. Om Sai Vidmahe Satya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayate. Om Sai Vidmahe Satya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayate. Offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our most merciful Mother Sai, who is nothing but grace and compassion personified, blessing us week after week with His chosen ones who, as we all know, none of us come into Swami's fold without His Sankalpa, His grace. And today we are blessed to have someone who has served in multiple uh, roles in the Sathya Sai Seva organization, including that of a Balvikas Guru, a spiritual coordinator, a state president, now the zonal president of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization's Southern Zone, South Zone, and who has continued his service in the field of education, having retired as a professor in the political sciences department, uh, continues his contribution in the field of education by having helped in the formation of the Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vihar, a Sathya Sai school in Aluva, and serving currently as the director of that school. Swami has blessed him to spend more than 30 years in close proximity, where he was fortunate to be one among those devotees who has had his grace to speak quite a number of occasions in the divine presence. He continues to be an inspiration in the state of Kerala, where he has been blessed to serve for more than 18 years as the state president, and now Swami has entrusted him larger responsibilities of inspiring the entire southern zone in being instruments of our beloved Lord through the organization that he has given as a vehicle for all of us to uplift ourselves and be in constant contemplation. We are absolutely blessed today to have Professor E. Mukundan with us, and as always, every week has a special message for us, and I'm as curious as you are to see what the message of the Lord is going to be for us this week. Over to you, sir. Sai Ram.
Om Sri Sai Ram. With humility, love, and gratitude, I place myself at the lotus feet of my beloved Swami. Prayerfully, I seek divine permission and blessing for starting this session. As Swami says, delay is not denial, but still, I was trying to get connected during the last 20 minutes. I apologize to Swami and to all brothers and sisters who have joined in the session for this delay. The topic given by, with the blessing of Swami, is beloved Master and his words. This is a very topic of much importance. And with his grace, let us see the importance of this aspect. Beloved Master and his words. I take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude to the office bearers of the Sai Center there. And I take this as a great blessing from my beloved Swami to share my ideas with my brothers and sisters in Singapore. Now, coming to this topic, when I was dealing with the EHV classes for the school students, I used to ask them three important questions. Number one, do you love your parents? Some person will raise their hand saying that we love our parents. Second question will be usually this: do you obey your parents? Number of hands will be very few. And third question is most relevant for today's topic. I used to ask them, can you love your parents without obeying them? Can you love your parents without obeying them? These three questions are relevant for any member of Sai organization, devotees of Swami. Do we love Swami? Everybody will raise the hand. Do we obey Swami's commands? Number of hands may be less. And coming to the third question, can we love Swami without obeying his commands? That is the theme of today's session, today's class. That is the master's words and how we obey them. This happened a few years back in the interview room. Swami was sitting with a student, a group of selected students. Swami was silent for some time and asked them a question later. How long you will run behind this body? Swami repeated that question. How long you will run behind this body? Then Swami said, this body is not important. This will go away. But my words are important. This body is not important. That will go away. But my words are important. That Swami told a group of students selected on that particular day. Once, a teacher from the Anantapur campus called for an interview. Swami asked her, what do you want? She said, Swami, please bless me with the devotion. Please bless me with the devotion. Swami said, that is not a correct question. You have got devotion, you are having devotion, that is why you are with me. The teacher asked Swami, then what? What should for I pray? What for I should pray? Swami said, pray for the capability of obeying me. Pray for the ability, the mental attitude for obeying me. That is most important, Swami said. We should have the ability. We should have the capability. We should have the mental attitude of obeying each and every divine command. Swami said, that should be your prayer. Don't pray for devotion because you have got devotion. What you should do is, you should pray for obeying, the ability to obey all my commands. This happened when the Paduka Puja was being held at Prashantanilayam. 1008 Padukas were worshipped. Swami blessed the function. Bhagawan's divine discourse was there. After the discourse, Swami went to the interview room. And in the interview room, some selected devotees, senior devotees were there. Also, some students were there. Swami asked them, what is real Paduka Puja? What is real Paduka Puja? Swami said, I am walking on the sands of time, and you can see my footprints. When you follow those footprints, that is the real Pada Puja. Real Pada Puja of Bhagawan, real puja of lotus feet of Bhagawan is walking over the path, on the path that is laid down by Bhagawan. In other words, following the divine commands. Why we should obey? Why we should obey the divine commands? Swami gives a very clear answer to the question. What is the need for obeying Swami's words, Swami's commands? This happened at the veranda, Prasanthi Nilayam. Swami came out of the interview room. A teacher was sitting there. Swami asked him, what is the distance between me and you? What is the distance between me and you? The teacher got perplexed. Swami gave the answer. The distance between me and you is the distance between you and me. I repeat the answer given by Swami. The distance between me and you is the distance between you and me. In other words, for having nearness with Swami, nearness to Swami, for having dearness with Bhagawan, nearness and dearness, there is no other way but to obey the divine commands. We have to obey him. We should obey him so that we will be near to Swami and we will be dearer to Swami. Swami often used to say, when we say foreigners, Swami used to say, they are not foreigners. Use the word overseas. Moreover, Swami used to say, they are not foreigners. I'm very happy to say when I am addressing or when I am sharing my thoughts with the brothers and sisters in Singapore, Swami used to say, they are not foreigners, they are far. They are far off, far, but near. Far near, Swami used to say, not foreigners, but far near. Another important aspect in this connection is, Swami used to say, tell us, teach us, if you feel you are near, you are near. If you feel you are far away. If you feel you are dear to me. So everything is on us. Everything is with us, not with Swami. If I am feeling I am near to Swami, I am near to Swami. If I am feeling I am dear to Swami, I am dear to Swami. Swami says, if you feel close to me, I am close to you, because Swami has given that free will to us. One day, Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, Lord, why are you behaving differently to different people? There is no uniformity in dealing with the devotee. Why you are behaving one type to one people and another way to another devotees? Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, I am like fire. Some devotees are sitting near to me. Some devotees are sitting far away from me. What I can do? Those who are sitting near to me, near to me, they will have the light and the warmth. Those who are sitting far away, they won't be getting the light and they won't be getting the warmth of the fire. Lord said, I am like fire. What I can do? It is the devotees who decide whether they should near to me or far away from me. And how we can sit near to Swami, there is only one way. Obeying the commands given by the Master. Obeying the divine command, that's the only way that makes nearer and nearer, dearer and dearer. One day, this again happened in the interview room. Swami selected some devotees in the morning for the interview. And Swami talked to them for about 1 hour, materialized vibhuti and other things for the members, selected devotees. One devotee asked Swami, Swami, why we have got such a fortune? Why we have got such a fortune to sit with Swami for this 1 hour? Is it our punya, Swami? Past punya, past karmas, good karmas? Another devotee asked Swami, Swami, is it because of the blessing of our parents? Every time Swami said, this word, Swami was not saying anything. So every devotee was asking this question again and again, Swami, and Swami was saying, just casually, Then one devotee asked Swami, Swami, what we should do? What we should do, Swami? Swami said, in the Himalayas, for the saints and sages, I give darshan for half a second, 1 second, or half a minute. I am giving you darshan for hours together, days together, years together. Then again they asked Swami, what we should do, Swami, for this fortune, for this blessing. Swami said, do only one thing. Love me. Swami said, love me. And Swami explained what is meant by loving him. Swami said, obey my words. That is loving Swami. Obey my words, Swami said to those devotees selected for interview on that particular day. Now comes the question, Swami again explains how to obey him, how to obey his words. Bhagavan makes it very clear. A devotee asked Swami, Swami, why we are deviating from your words? Why we are disobeying your words, Swami? What is the reason for that? Swami said, it is your mind that is responsible for that. Why we are deviating from the divine commands? Why we are disobeying Swami? Swami's words, Bhagavan said, the only thing that is responsible for that is your mind. Devotees asked Swami, Swami, how to correct it? Swami asked them, what is meant by mind? Swami answers, mind is bundle of thoughts. Mind is bundle of thoughts. If you make every thought focusing on me, you'll be giving your mind to me. I repeat that. If you focus every word, if you focus every thought on me, focusing on Swami, all the thoughts will be focusing on Bhagavan. And that is how you can give your mind to Swami. Swami gave an example. The shirt is white. Why this shirt is white? Because all the threads are white. Why the scarf is blue? Because all the threads are blue. Similarly, if mind means bundle of thoughts, if all the thoughts are focusing on Swami, you are giving your mind to me. If 75% thoughts are focusing on Swami, you are giving 75% of mind to me. And Bhagavan said, you are deviating from my commands. You are disobeying my commands. Only you have to concentrate, focus on your mind. And what you have to do, focus every thought on me so that your mind will be with me. Another point that is relevant here, again, this is in the interview room. There is one boy with a student, Swami is sitting. How to give the mind to Swami, that's the point. That is Swami is answering that point. Because that's the only way to follow his commands. And inside the interview, few students were there. One student was always shaking his body, either the hand or the leg. He was always moving this way or that way. And in the last part of the interview, Swami asked them, have you got any questions? This particular boy asked Swami, Swami, how to control the mind? How to control the mind? Swami told him, for controlling your mind, first you have to control your body. For controlling your mind, first you have to control your body. Swami gave an example. On a table, suppose you are keeping a pot with water on the table. If you are shaking the table, the pot also will be shaking. The water also will be shaking. The table is your body. Pot is your mind. If you are shaking your body, your mind also will be shaking. So that for controlling your mind, first is you have to control your body. Then the boy asked Swami, Swami, how to control my body? Swami said, what you eat, what you think, what you see, what you hear, control all these things so that you can control your body also. Control the body, thereby control the mind. Give focus, all thoughts focusing on Swami. Then Swami said, it will be easy for you to obey, to follow my path, to obey my command. Swami gives this answer. Another point is, Swami said, to obey my commands, to obey my words, Swami said, start with small things. Start with simple things. Don't go for higher level. Initially, you can start with small things so that I will hold your hand. I will take you to the goal. And Swami gave the examples also. What is meant by start with small things so that we can obey all the divine commands? Swami said, think what you speak. Think what you speak, whether it is good for others, whether it is truth, whether it is make others happy. Swami said, what you speak, control what you speak. Then Swami said, what you eat, you can control what you eat. Is it good for your spiritual life? Is it sattvic food? Is it good for your spiritual life? Because what we eat also decide what we are, just like what we think decide what we are. So what you speak, simple things you control first. What you speak, what you eat, how you speak is also important. How you speak. Some used to say, there is no madhura swaram. Sweetness of words is not there. Once in the divine discourse, Swami said, even shanti, shanti. We are not saying with shanti. Swami said in the divine discourse. So what we speak, what we eat, how we speak, whether this witness of the words is there. Once it so happened, Rasagotra, who was a former IFS officer in the foreign service, he was at Prashantalayam. And Swami asked him to address the devotees in the Sai Kulam hall. And Mr. Rasagotra went to Swami for getting the blessing, taking the blessing before starting his speech. He was taking Padanamaskar of Bhagawan, and when he got up, Swami told him, Rasagotra, your speech should be like Rasagula. Rasagotra, your speech should be like Gulab Jam, Rasagula. That should be sweet. So what we speak, what we eat, how we speak, all these things, small things. Swami said, train yourself to do these small things. Later, bigger and bigger things will be coming to your life. It will be easy for you to obey greater commands of Swami by following small things, just like a small kid studying, understanding the alphabet before reading the big volumes. Swami said, start with small things. And when you take that first step, I will hold your hand and I will take you to the goal of your life. Once Bhagawan said, all external things are not important. Swami said, wearing white dress, having vibhuti on your forehead, removing your mustache. Swami told all these things. Wearing white dress, having vibhuti on your forehead, chandan or vibhuti, remove your mustache. All things are not spiritual, Swami said. Very important point. All things are not spiritual. But if you are wearing vibhuti for making Swami happy, if you are having the white dress for making Swami happy, if you are removing the mustache for making Swami happy, Swami said, then it becomes spiritual. Whatever you do to make Swami happy, that becomes spiritual, Swami said. That's a very, very important divine teaching for us. Whatever we do, let us do it for making Swami to see a small, beautiful smile on the divine face. That becomes spiritual. And that is the start that helps us to obey his command more easily. And our life will be nearer and nearer to the goal. That is why Bhagavan said, whatever you do to obey my words, make whatever you do Bhagavat Pridyartham. Bhagavat Prithiyartha, whatever I do is to make Swami happy, to make Swami proud of us. Not only happy, mother should be proud of the children. Father should be proud of the children. Similarly, Swami should be proud of us. So whatever we do, only the sole purpose should be, goal should be to make Swami and happy, to make Swami happy and proud of us. Swami said, if you are ready, I am also ready. Swami is always, if you are ready, I am also ready. If the disciple is ready, Guru appears before him. If the disciple is a devotee is ready, Swami appears before him. That is why Swami said, if you are ready, I am also ready. What is meant by this readiness? Readiness means our readiness to obey his words. Swami, whatever you say, without using my intelligence, whatever you say, Swami, my heart will be behind that. I will obey you, Swami. That is, Swami said, when you are ready, Swami is also ready. Years back, 1947. Swami had a letter, Swami wrote a letter to his elder brother, Sheshavaraju Garu. In that letter, all of us know Swami wrote, I will hold the hands of my devotees. I will hold the hands of my devotees and take them to the goal of their life. Yes, Swami will hold our hands, but we should be ready. And that readiness is readiness to imbibe, understand, and practice all the divine teachings. Swami said, when you are obeying my commands, I will hold your hand. When you take the first step, I will take thousands and thousands steps towards you. An example. There is a boy in Vrindavan campus, joined first time in Swami's educational institution. And early morning, Bangalore, sometimes it's very cold, very chilly. Getting up in the morning, going for Suprabhadam, Ongar Suprabhadam, and Nagara Sankirtan was very difficult for him. But he decided to make Swami happy by following this. 1 week he went for Suprabhadam, went for Nagara Sankirtan. Swami was physically present at Vrindavan at that time. After this 1 week, he found it very difficult. He wrote a letter to Swami. Swami, is very difficult for Swami. So please permit me not to go for Ungara Suprabhadam Nagara Sankirtan. Swami came for darshan, and he was holding this letter in his hands. Swami took the letter, but Swami didn't read the letter. Swami took the letter, didn't read the letter, just told him, very good, continue. Swami told only this. Because in the letter, he prayed for permission not to go for Suprabhadam, Ogara Suprabhadam and Nagara Sankirtan. Swami said, very good. You are going for Nagara Sankirtan for 1 week. Very good. Continue. Swami didn't care what is written in the letter. Swami said, continue. And the boy continued. It is in this way Swami corrected us. When we start obeying Swami, Swami will help us to continue with obeying Swami's command. And this is a beautiful example of what happened at Vrindavan. When we obey Swami, when we obey Master's words, Swami's words, Swami said, there will be no failure for you. When you obey my commands in total, there will be no failure for you, because your failure is my failure. When you obey me, when you follow my path, there will be no failure for you, because your failure will become my failure. And as we know, God cannot fail in anything. Your failure will be my failure, and there will be no failure for you, Swami said. In Vedanta, it is said, the words of God, words in Vedanta, we can say this beautiful statement. Words of God are aprameya. Aprameya. What's the aprameya? That cannot be understood by your buddhi, intellect. That can be understood only by your heart. Some used to say heart to heart. My relationship is heart to heart. And that is in Vedanta, it is said. Words of God are aprameya. You cannot understand with your buddhi. You cannot understand with your intellect. You can understand only with your heart. 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 It should be artificial, not artificial, Swami used to tell us. We know. Before every divine discourse, Swami used to chant a padyam. One day Swami sang, if the king is displeased, king of the earlier ruler, if the king is displeased, you can go to another country. What will you do if God is displeased? If king is displeased, you can go to another country. If what you will do, if God is displeased, where we will go? Because God is everywhere, He's omnipresent. Where we will go if God is displeased? To understand this, a beautiful story from Chinnakada Swami has given us. One day, a small rabbit is running. The rabbit is running because he took some money as loan from the Mother Earth. This story given by Swami himself. He took a loan from Mother Earth, and the rabbit is running because the rabbit does not want to pay it back. So he wants to go away from Mother Earth. So he did not pay the loan back. We pay the loan. Running for a long distance. At last, the rabbit stopped, said, oh, very happy, now I am safe. But rabbit was running on the Mother Earth itself. Mother Earth replied, rabbit, I am here also. I am here. Wherever we go, God is there. He is omnipresent. That is why Swami said, if the king is displeased, you can go to another kingdom. What you will do if God is displeased? To make God happy, to make God pleased with all our actions, there is only way: obey His commands, obey His words. Also, we have to remember a beautiful answer given by Swami to the question, Swami, why we are disobeying so, Swami? We know that you are God. We know that you know everything. But still, Swami, we know that this is not good to perform, not good to do. Still we are doing, Swami. What is the reason, Bhagawan? Lovingly, Swami replied, if you are deviating from my commands, the only reason is that you are forgetting that I am watching you. You are forgetting that I am watching you. So we are disobeying or we are deviating from divine commands because we forget that Swami is God and He is ever watching us. This happened with Colonel Jogarao. Probably some of you may know, who was in charge of all the concerns, who physically and mentally, devotionally also so close to Swami Colonel Jogarao. And after returning from the service, sometimes he was having the habit of a sip of the liquor. When the Swami asked him, Jogarao, is it good to have this habit even after coming to me? Colonel Jogarao touched the feet of Swami, lotus feet of Swami, and said, Swami, I assure you, Swami, I won't do it again. I will not do it again. After some he went to a party. The retired officers, army officers prompted him to have a sip. Swami said, earlier when Jogarao told Bhagawan, I won't do this again, Swami said, I will be watching you. I will be watching you. And when he took the cup in his hands, he could see Swami's divine face in the cup, inside the cup. That is the point. We are disobeying Swami, or in other words, we won't say disobey, we are deviating from divine commands because we forget that Swami is watching us. Swami is ever watching us. We are under the divine eyes, we forget. Dr. Modi, he was conducting thousands and thousands of eye camps. And Swami permitted him to conduct an eye camp in Parthi also, Prashanthi Live also. And Swami came for inaugurating the eye camp. And in the discourse, Swami said, Doctor, you will be covering the eyes of the both patients after operation. You will be covering the eyes of the patients, which, with this thing, cotton and other things, they will be covering, doctor will be covering the eyes not to have any infection. Swami said, you'll be covering the eyes of the patient with the bandage. But remember one thing, you are always under the watchful eyes of me. I will be watching you, how you are doing this. Patients cannot see you, but I will be watching you. That is the statement Swami gave to Dr. Modi before starting the item. This is the truth, vital truth. We are under the watchful eyes of Swami. When we forget that, we deviate from his divine teachings. And to understand this, Swami gives a beautiful story in the Chinnakada, the story of a guru and 4 disciples. One day this guru gave 1 banana each for the disciples and told them, go somewhere, eat the banana, but nobody should see you. Eat the banana, but nobody should see you. They go to different places and made sure that nobody is watching them. 3 of them ate the banana and came back. One disciple was holding the banana still when he came back. Guru asked him, why you didn't eat the banana? Why you brought it back? Disciple said, Guru, Master, you told us to eat the banana without anybody watching you. But Master, wherever I go, I could see the watchful eyes of my God, my Lord. So I cannot eat the banana. Master said, it is for realizing this. It is for make you understand this. I ask you to go to some places, hide yourself, and eat the banana. This is the truth. Swami is always watching us. And when we live with this awareness that we are under the watchful eyes of our beloved Swami, we will be always obeying his commands without deviating from him. Swami said, this is the divine assurance. When you obey my words, I give the strength also to obey my words. That's the beauty of it. When you obey my words, start to obey my commands, I give the strength also for that. That is the first step and the 100 steps. That is why Swami said, when you do your best, I will do the rest. You do your best, I will do the rest, Swami assured. And this again happened at Vrindavan. Rama Brahma. In earlier years, Mr. Rama Brahma was the caretaker of the Vrindavan ashram. And he devoted Swami totally, 10% devoted, 10% obeying Swami's command. Rama Brahma will be always with Swami, physically. One day Swami gave his robe and asked Rama Brahma to wear that robe. Rama Brahma is a person 6.5 feet height and equally weight also. So Rama Brahma told Bhagawan, even my hand will go through this robe because Swami's robe, we know, Swami's divine body, we know. So Rama Brahma told Bhagawan, Swami, I cannot put my hand. Swami said, Rama Brahma, it is my command, wear it. Rama Brahma said, Swami. He was putting the robe on his head. It was so big. But when he was wearing the robe increased its birth, increased everything according to the body size of Rama Brahma. That is why when we obey divine commands, everything expands according to that divine command. Everything changes. And that is why Swami said, when you obey when you are ready to obey my command, I give the strength also to obey the commands. To obey Bhagawan's words, we should have unflinching faith in Swami. This is also necessary. Swami used to say, tell us, faith should not be like the pendulum, moving to one place, the pendulum of a big clock watch. Moving to one side, in this second, another second moving to the other side. Swami used to say, faith should not be like a pendulum. Mariner's compass, we know. Wherever we turn it, the needle always looks towards north. Swami said, your faith should not be like the pendulum, always shaking, always moving. It should be like the needle of the mariner's compass, always facing the northern side. Unflinching faith in Swami is a must to obey his command, to obey his words. And we know, obeying Swami's words, what he has told us, is a sign of our love for Swami and our gratitude to Swami. We should always remember this. Obeying divine commands, obeying Mother is a sign of our love and gratitude to Mother. Obeying Father is the sign of our love and gratitude to Father. Obeying Swami is the sign of our love and gratitude to our Bhagawan. And just now I was sharing the idea, we should have unflinching faith in Swami. Swami gives an example. You have got faith in the barber. When I'm going for cutting my hair, the barber is having knives, scissors, everything. Swami said, even though knife is there, the scissors are there, it's there. You have got complete faith in the barber. I am traveling in a car where the driver is unknown, not known to me. But Swami says, you have got the faith in the driver. Costly clothes I'm giving to the washerman. Swami says, you have got faith in the washerman. How this happened? You have no faith in me, Swami is asking. You have got faith in the barber. You have got faith in the driver. You have got faith in the washerman. How this happened? Why this is happening? You are having no full faith in God. It's very, very important. This question Swami is giving some before us. One day, Swami said, you don't know how fortunate you are. You don't know why you have got the fortune of darshan, sparshan, and submersion of God incarnate. You don't know when you will get it again. You don't know whether you will be getting it again. Therefore, hold tightly. Swami said, hold tightly. You don't know why this fortune is given for you. You don't know when you are going to get this again. You don't know whether you will be getting again. So this time, the present is important. Present is the present of God for you, Swami used to say. Past is history. Future is a mystery. Only the present you are having. And the present is the present of God to you. Bhagawan said, hold tightly to the divine lotus feet. Understand what he is telling us, what Swami is telling us, and obey, imbibe it, and carry out that in our daily life. In the beautiful work of Professor Kasturi, Loving God, is the masterpiece of Professor Kasturi. In the inside first page itself, Kasturi wrote, I don't know about my past janmas. I don't know about my past janmas, but this janma I know. I have got the best schooling. I have got the best schooling. I have got God himself as my teacher, and I am waiting for the certificate. Kasturi wrote, Professor Kasturi wrote, I don't know about my past janmas, but this janma I know. I have got the best schooling and waiting for the certificate. This is true, brothers and sisters. We have got the best, we are getting the best schooling because God Himself is our teacher. God Himself is our teacher. So we have got the best schooling. We should get first rank in this examination because we have got God Himself. Always Swami used to tell us, you should remember, it is not you who selected the master. Master selected you. Master selected you. Swami selected us. You have been selected by Swami. This happened to Anil Kumar sir. Early years back, he was appointed as a state coordinator. Immediately, Professor Anil Kumar sir went to Prashantila to get Swami's blessing. He was holding the paper, appointment, nomination paper, appointment paper. Swami came for darshan. Swami asked Anil Kumar sir, Anil Kumar, why you have come? Anil Kumar said, Swami, I am appointed as the state coordinator in Andhra Pradesh. Swami asked him, Anil Kumar, this is to teach us. Who appointed you? Anil Kumar said, Swami, the World Council President Chairman appointed me as the state coordinator. Swami said, who is he to appoint you? Swami asked, who is he to appoint you? It is I who have appointed you. It is I who have appointed you. True, brothers and sisters. It is Swami who has selected us. We didn't select Swami. So we should not waste this opportunity. We should use this opportunity to live. And a beautiful, not only beautiful, that will shake our mind and heart. Swami asked the question, who is the master? Who is the master and who is the servant? Who is the master and who is the servant? The Swami said, I am doing whatever you pray. I am fulfilling all your prayers, but you are not doing what I say. So who is the master and who is the servant? Swami said, I am the servant because I am doing whatever you say. You are the master because you are not doing whatever I say. Brothers and sisters, can we make our beloved Swami the servant? He should be the master. Swami alone should be the master. We are the servants, just like Lord Hanuman. Whatever Swami says, we should perform in our life because he should be the master. We should not bring Swami to the level of servant. Whenever we obey Swami, he is the master. Whenever Swami does everything for us and we disobey Swami, Swami says, you are the master. We don't want to become the master. We are always the servants of Bhagawan, sevaks of Bhagawan. Swami should be the master. For this, we should obey all his commands. One day, a devotee prayed Bhagawan told Bhagawan, Swami, I am not in the habit of doing japa. Swami, I am not doing the habit of meditation. Swami, I am not having any yoga. Swami, what I should do? Swami smiled and told him, Bangaru, what path Hanuman had? Swami asked him, what path Hanuman had? What path Pandavas had? They did only one thing. They obeyed Lord. They obeyed their Lord. Nothing. They obeyed their Lord. That is most important. What you have to do is just obey Bhagawan. Just obey his command. That is the path before us. Swami said, what path Hanuman had? What path Pandavas had? They just obeyed their Lord. And Lord gave everything for them. Lord provided everything for them. Swami said, obey my command. Just follow the path laid down by me. Everything will be added to you. Everything will be added to you. Swami said, everything will be added to you. Once 600 students of Swami's colleges, Vrindavan and Parthi, Prashant Nilayam, came to Parthi. Swami called all of them, 600 members, called all of them inside Purnendra auditorium. They asked Swami, what we should do to make Swami happy? Swami, what we should do to make Swami happy? What we should do, Bhagawan, to make you happy? Swami said, only one thing you do. Do what I say. Do what I say. That is enough for your life. Do what I say. We know in Prashantilayam, so many birds are there flying here and there. And everywhere we can see bird droppings, and Seva brothers and sisters will be always cleaning. Before darshan time, they will be at that time. Even now, they will be cleaning the entire Sai Hall. The teachers were sitting in the veranda on that day, particular day. Swami was inside the interview room. Swami slowly came out of the interview room and stood in the veranda. Exactly in front of where Swami was standing, there was a bird dropped. Bird's dropping was there. Swami looked at it. The bird's dropping. One professor of the management faculty was sitting in front. Swami looked at everybody, all the teachers sitting there. Swami said, pointing to the birds dropping, Swami said, this is prasadam. This is amrita, Swami said. This is amrita. One teacher got up, collected the entire birds dropping and put it to his mouth. Everybody was stunned. All others thought Swami is joking, but this professor took the word. It is a divine word. He took it and ate it. And after that, he was taking Padnamaskar. It became Amrita. It became Amrita. When Swami said Amrita, it became Amrita. When he was taking the Padnamaskar, Swami said, see, this is devotion. See, this is devotion. Whatever Swami says, we should be ready to do it. That is devotion, Bhagawan said. We will conclude with Bhagawan's permission. Divine permission, we will conclude with one more point. Time is also coming up. This happened for a farmer. This story given by Swami himself. A farmer, every day while going to the farm for doing the work, he will take his lunch box also. At noon, when the work is over, in the morning session, he will wash his hands, legs and hands and come to sit under the tree. He will open his lunch box and used to have his food. Other workers also will be surrounding him every day. He will be cursing the food. What food is this? No taste. Nothing is there. No taste. One day, another farmer asked him, if you dislike this food, every day you are scolding the food, cursing the food, the way in which it is cooked. Why can't you tell your wife to change the nature, change some of the other food items you can try? Then this farmer said, I have no wife, I didn't marry. Then the other farmer asked him, then why can't you tell the people who are preparing the food to change the nature of the food, food items? Then the farmer said, I am preparing the food. I have nobody else to prepare the food. I am preparing the food. Then he asked, if you are preparing the food, why you are cursing the food? I am preparing the food, but I don't like the food. I am preparing the food, but I don't like the food. Swami said, you are responsible for everything that is coming before you. You are just like the food he prepared and he cursed the food and eat it. Just like that, you are responsible for everything that is coming before you. So, if you want to change it, you have to change your way of life. When you change your way of life, the things that appear before you also will change. Brothers and sisters, changing the way of life means follow our Lord. Follow our Lord in word and deed. Because once Swami asked the students, what is the rarest of the rarest rare in the universe? rarest of the rare in the universe. Students gave many answers. At last, Swami said, getting human birth is the rarest. Secondly, getting human birth contemporary to an avatar is still rare. To realize that there is an avatar during our lifetime is still rare. To become part and parcel of the avadaric mission. Avadaric mission is the rarest of the rare. Brothers and sisters, we got all these four opportunities. We have got human birth. We are contemporary to the avatar. We realize that this is avatar Purusha. Devadi Deva, Sarva Devadadi the Sarupa, Bhagawan is. And Swami has given us this opportunity to be with him. Swami said, he is the engineer. You are all my workers working with me. Swami said, I am the senior doctor doing the operation. You are the nurse and the compounders doing the last type, to do it, putting the stage, cleaning everywhere. You are having that work. With the divine doctor, we are working. With the divine engineer, we are working. One day, it is Swami's birthday, divine birthday, November 23rd. Lakhs of people were waiting outside. Swami was inside the interview room. Professor Kasturi was doing the Pada Seva. Kasturi's tears were falling down. Professor Kasturi told Bhagawan, what a great opportunity you are giving me, Swami. I have full gratitude to Swami. I thank you, Swami, for this opportunity. Lakhs and lakhs devotees are waiting outside, and you are giving me the opportunity to do Pada Seva on this auspicious day of divine birthday. Swami said, Kasturi, you should be grateful, not for that, not for getting the opportunity of Pada Seva. Then Kasturi, why, Swami? What else, Swami? Swami said, there are two lines of people, two queues of people. There is one queue, here is another queue. In the one queue number one, there are people who I have selected to work with me. The people who I have selected to work with me. In the other queue, that is the waiting list. That is the waiting list. I'm yet to select them. Kasturi, you should be grateful to Swami only for one reason, that you are in this queue where Swami has the selected people are standing. You should be grateful to Bhagawan because you are in the first queue number one, where the selected people are there. You have given this opportunity. Kasturi, remember, in 1 second, I can take you from this line and put you in the next queue, second line. Brothers and sisters, that is the truth. We are in the first queue. We have been selected by beloved Bhagawan. We are the selected chosen ones. So we should not waste this opportunity. Hold tightly the divine lotus feet, ever ready to carry out his commands. Then Swami will say, Bangaru, you are mine, and you are mine, and I am yours. At that particular moment, we can say, Swami, Swami, my life is thy message. My life is thy message. To that great opportunity, let us work hard, 24/7, 365 days. Let us place everything at the divine lotus feet with total conviction that Swami alone is the doer and we are his instruments only, instruments in the divine hands. With that conviction, let us move forward, obeying, imbibing and obeying every divine command, starting with small things, as Swami said. Sure, Swami will hold our hands and Swami will take us to the destination. Express my deep gratitude to my beloved Swami for this wonderful opportunity of sharing what he has taught us. I express my deep gratitude to my brothers and sisters of this science center and whoever is hearing the words given, the lessons given by Swami. and express my deep gratitude to the office brothers and sisters of this Sai Center in Singapore. And with gratitude, love, and devotion, I praise every word that Swami has taught us at the Divine Lotus Feet. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir, absolutely blissful, um, straight message, loud and clear, where Swami is telling us that there's only one way, and that is just to follow his words. We have plenty of time left, so um, if any one of you would have any questions, would be fine if you can either speak up or type, and we can ask Uncle to to share his thoughts on that. Uh, I would like to ask, I know that there is a lot of Seva activities. I've heard through other alumni brothers of the amazing Seva work that has been taken up in the villages in Kerala, the flood relief, so on and so forth. Uh, I would like to ask how it is as an office bearer, or someone with the responsibility of inspiring many, where Swami is, of course, the inspiration. But what is the uh, drive that attracts especially younger generation into Seva, and how the organization facilitates the ability to participate in Seva activities? I'm just curious because I've heard a lot of wonderful stories of. We have heard about the Hyderabad youth, but I've been hearing also in Kerala there has been a lot of Seva centric activities which bring the youngsters together, and I know that there's been a lot of support from the organization in facilitating that. Maybe if you could share a few thoughts on how service activities bring together people who might not have seen Swami at all, but are wonderful participants in the activities that bring us together to follow his teaching, which is to serve everyone. I mean, there's nothing greater than that. Could you probably share a few thoughts on that?
Sai Ram, sir. With the blessings of Swami, what we could do in Kerala is this. From 2003, Swami blessed the state of Kerala to take youth members to the divine presence. Swami blessed us to do this, to conduct this 17 years continuously. In the first youth camp, 2003 at Vrindavan, more than 3,000 youth members attended. And when all these youth members come into the divine presence, Swami used to tell them. Swami asked in the first divine discourse, why the 3,000 youth members have come from Kerala? Swami said, because of their love towards me. So this opportunity of taking all these brothers, young brothers and sisters to the divine presence for 17 continuous years transformed their life. Swami talked to them, interacted with them, gave them many opportunities, and thereby they became the active workers of Sathya Sai Seva organization, Kerala. Swami told them what to do. For example, the Sathya Sai village integrated program, Swami gave to the world on Ugadi day, 10 days before. We took nearly 300 youth leaders to Prashanthi Nilayam. Swami talked to them, gave one hour interview inside the bhajan hall. And on that particular day, before 10 days of Swami giving this village integrated program to the world, Swami told the youth of Kerala, the Sathya Sai village program, Grama Seva, and Swami explained very clearly what we should do in village work. So this interaction, intimate interaction with Swami, and the opportunities given by Swami to the youth members of Kerala, that prompted us to give their best to Swami. And that is the reason why youth activities are, even today we can say, youth are having regular meetings, regular activities, and Sri Sai Vidya project. All these activities are going on very well in Kerala because that opportunity they got for 17 years that really resulted in this amazing saga of Seva by the youth of Kerala. And another reason is Swami's ex-student, alumni, they were working with the youth of Kerala during the time of flood in 2018. And this created a beautiful atmosphere. They could understand, our youth members could understand their way of life, their simplicity, their humility, their faith in Swami, their commitment to Swami's work. That was a great lesson they could imbibe from Swami's students. For 3 to 4 months, our youth members served with them as a group to remove the difficulties of the people caused by the flood of 2018. Brothers and sisters, this is the main reason, the blessing of Swami and the interaction Swami gave to our youth member that is responsible for the amazing seva by the youth of Kerala in this small state. Saira.
Sairam sir, there's one more question from someone asking what Swami views were on astrology. I, it's just
So, precisely, I cannot give an answer, but I can give you what happened for one astrologer from Kerala. He was called for interview. I don't know much about astrology. So I don't know what Swami commented, Swami's views on astrology, because I don't know. So I cannot give, but I can give you one instance only. That is when this astrologer was called for interviews, Swami said, when you are throwing stones to the mango tree, when you throw 10 stones, at least you will get one mango. Saying that many of the predictions given by the astrologer may not be correct. It may happen that when you say 10 comments or 10 predictions, one may be true. This is one of the comments that I know. More than that, what Swami has told on astrology, so he said, I don't know much about that. Sairam.
Sairam. Absolutely. So, all I can say, if anyone else, if you have any questions, we can take probably a couple. If not, all I can.
Yeah, Sairam, brother Venkat.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes, brother.
Sairam, brother. Actually, it's one of the most, inspiring sessions where there is real practical learning from what you spoke. One thing that comes to my mind is, see, the battery is fully charged after listening to you, and especially that Swami is watching us all the time, and we must do everything as per his command. Now the question is, it's not really a question, just a learning for me is how to keep this awareness always active throughout the week till the next satsang. In between, the battery drains off and we just go back to normal lives, so that the Swami's the charge goes away during the week. So how do we bring that awareness continuously? What should we do? I mean, it will be ideal if you're working in with Swami's devotees throughout the week also. That will be happening. But we deal with the external world. There are a lot of other things. So just give us advice, sir. Sairam.
Sairam, sir. What little I know on that point, when Swami said there are different types of watches, earlier especially, some watches have to give, winding every day. Some once in a week. But now we are having watches, suppose we are having a battery, that will work at least for 1 year. There is no need for winding the watch because it will work on. Swami said, how to keep up this? How to keep up this? And that is an example. There are some lessons given to us by a timepiece, alarm clock. We keep the alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 types of people are there. Some people do not hear the alarm at all. They are in deep sleep. They are the sleepers. We can call them sleepers. There is another type of people who just push the button off and they will continue sleeping. They are the snoozers. Snooze the alarm. Snoozers. Third type of people is who get up, stop the alarm, and again fall on the sleep bed. They are the followers. And fourth type of people is they get up at 4 o'clock when they hear the alarm and they start their work. take bath, brush teeth, take bath, go to the puja room, do the prayers, and they go forward. They are the walkers. So sleepers are there, snoozers are there, followers are there, and there are the walkers. Let us pray to Swami to be the walkers, so that every time we will remember the teachings of Swami. And Swami used to say, when your mind go away from, bring it back to my teachings. And that is why Swami said, when you hear my stories, you will forget stories of the world. I repeat that. When you hear my stories, you will forget the stories of the world. So Satsangh, Swadhyaya, enjoying the bhajan, at least all these things will help us to remember Swami always. So we never forget. And we will be just like the watch where there is no need of winding. Sai Ram, sir.
Sai Ram, brother.
Sai Ram, sir, absolutely beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. I think today the opportunity for us to be in contemplation is a choice we would make, and I think following his teachings implicitly cuts a lot of noise that confuses the mind, and these are messages that have been very clear that how close we want to be to Swami is a choice we make, and the only way that is possible is to be in contemplation and following his message to us. So as always, grateful to Swami for bringing all of you to come and address us week after week. As someone was asking, this is probably we're reaching close to about 120 weeks. There have been so many messages that have been relayed by Swami through each one of you, and every week I would say it's a quick charge for us to experience how blessed we are to know Swami, to know each one of you who have experienced Swami, and through your experience continue to experience Swami and be reminded of our blessings to have Swami in our lives. Gratitude, and looking forward to hearing more from you in the weeks ahead, and thanks to Swami for making this happen. We'll finish off with Samasta Lokas. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai. Sai Ram, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to all of you. Sai Ram. Thank you all.
Mukundan, you should come back again, please.
Certainly, sir. Certainly. It is a great opportunity for me given by Swami and you all. Sai Ram. Thank you so much.
Sai Ram, sir. Sai Ram.